Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to is what I've loved about my journey is I do have this, oh my goodness, we can do a million and one different things. Like, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
And then I also have the side of, you were talking about the practical pieces. Okay, now it's time to get to work. And when you can have both of those running, it's like an engine where you're literally making your dreams a reality. That's the game that I like to play is when dreams become reality because who wants to die with their dream? Who wants to die and say, man, I had such a vision? That sucks. That
Yeah.
doesn't sound
Yeah.
fun at all. And the reason I go into threes is it because my mind does do what it does. Like
Yeah.
I can go into a million and one different ways. So I'm going in all of these ways and it doesn't allow me to move and it doesn't allow my tribe to move correctly because it's too much stuff. It needs to simplify things.
100%. Too much stuff. Need to simplify, need to bring it down to earth. Yeah. And absolutely that's what visionaries do. That's the difference between being a visionary and being a dreamer. The dreamer just thinks about cool stuff, but it doesn't actually happen. You're like taking it and you're bringing it down. You're distilling the essence of it. You're figuring out categorization. You're trying to, okay, how do we move this ahead and all that. That's great.
It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
Hello and welcome to Health in the Real World. I'm Chris Janke and I'm joined today by Clifford Starks. Clifford's a competitive edge specialist and transformational coach. Clifford, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Give us a little more detail as far as who you are, who you help, and then how you got on this path.
Yeah, so who I'm helping is small to mid-sized business owners really looking to get their time back. They are high performers by nature. They know how to perform at a high level, and even high performers get stuck. They get used to doing things the way that they do them, and there's always a new way to do things. Whether that's having the right systems in place or having the right team in place, we can always build more traction and live the greatest life that we want to live. And so that's what I'm here to support is other
Yeah.
entrepreneurs living their best life because when they live their best life, their clients live their best life and it becomes a ripple effect for everybody.
How much of that coaching, you mentioned you're coaching business owners, how much of that coaching is like more like motivational and inspirational in nature versus like practical, strategical, tactical things?
Yeah, so we actually have a combination of the two because they say a business runs best from the top bottom and bottom up. And so you want each piece in place to move them forward. And I'm working with a business partner who we're like perfect for each other because in some areas we're night and day from each other. And in some areas we're actually completely in sync. And so that's where I talk about your core values. What are your core beliefs? And I say you'll get to where you're looking to go if you have the right belief system. And I'm the belief guy. I'm here to support you, build you up, have you grow, but you also need the tools and the resources. And so the tools and the resources are okay, what do I need to know that is practical? What A through Z steps do I need to take consistently to move forward in my business? What do I need to do in my systems to move forward in my business? And what do I need to cut off to move forward in my business? And delegating and deleting, figuring out where do I delegate, where do I delete, who do I bring under the team, and who do I let go of the team who is not part of the core beliefs and the core values.
That's always a balancing act, right? Trying to figure out what direction to go, how much delegation, how much do I need to do myself? And then as you were talking about just a minute ago, I was thinking of my client who was on the line and you met her right before this. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been encouraging her to start a podcast for a while. And I'm thinking in that situation, there's sort of two sides to that as well. There's the motivation and the belief in her ability and me saying, you would be an amazing podcast guest because you're so open and positive
Yeah.
and a great conversationalist. You and her were talking for about 5 minutes, and it just flows. And then
Mhm.
there's the other side, which is a little more technical. Okay, I made the decision. Now what do I have to do to get this business or this podcast, whatever it is, off the ground? I would imagine you see that a lot with small to medium sized business owners, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's just like you said, the balancing act. And what I always say is, since I am the belief guy, if we believe that we're having fun with what we're balancing and what we're learning and what we're going towards, all of a sudden it becomes a lot easier to put. I
Mm.
talk about high performers, and high performers pretty consistently, they're visionaries. They see the finished product, and the finished product doesn't just become the finished product because they see it. There's other pieces to make that whole thing a reality. And I think I resonate with vision driven people so much because that's the game that I've always played. Like I
Mm.
see it in fruition before it even comes about. And then it's okay, what actions do I need? What actions don't I need? What actions are taking me away from the goal? Because I realize even as an entrepreneur, I have that shiny object syndrome, just as anybody else. It's our thing. Yeah,
Me
it's
too.
just like, oh, that a million. But there's processes you can use to keep you on track when it's time to stay on track. And when they're on track and they have a tribe that's on track,
Mm.
wow, really cool things happen.
So how, for you personally, that shiny object syndrome where it's, I don't know how it manifests for you, but for me, it's, oh, I'm going to write a book today. And then tomorrow, oh, I'm going to start doing my TED talk, and I need to focus on this website. And this. There's always like a new, how do you personally balance that? And then also your health. Let's weave in health and your wellness routine, whatever that looks like for you. How do you
Yeah.
balance all these balls that you're juggling?
So that's a great question. And I'll tell you, life is so much easier than we make it.
Yes.
It usually just comes down to three different things. Now, there's details and strategies and tactics behind all of those things. But for instance, I'll give you an example with my personal training journey and my entrepreneurial journey. It really comes down to three different things. So, as a personal trainer, it's nutrition, it's exercise, and it's recovery. And when you can figure out, okay, when do I recover? How do I recover? When should I, how long should I be recovering for? When do I exercise? How do I exercise? Nutrition, what do I eat? How should I eat it? Entrepreneurship, marketing, sales, and content. And so when you can break it down, okay, who am I speaking to? How do I speak to them? What is their message? What are their pain points? What solutions do I provide that no one else provides? How am I unique? And then going into the sales. Okay, how do I effectively ask the right questions to get the answers out of them to see if we're even a good fit? Sales is really about fitting into something. It's not about I need them to have my product. I want them to have the best product that works for them.
Yeah.
That's what sales essentially is. And then the content piece. Okay, how does my content relate to my audience? How does it give them impact? How does it move them forward? How does it get them to take the actions that you want them to take so they can truly transform their lives? And so after seeing that, I'm like, okay, this all comes down to those things. So let me just get specific on I need to get better at one thing. That's it. Not a million and one things, just one thing. What am I focused on getting better at? And let me focus on this thing for 3 months because I know I'm
Mm.
going to screw it up. Like,
Right.
because I have my own habits. If I wasn't going to screw it up, then I would already have the thing that I'm looking to have. So I go, what's the one thing?
So for you right now, what's your one thing?
My one thing, I'm really looking to understand small business owners, understand their pain points, and understand how to effectively articulate it to them. Because I
Nice.
know we have the solution, but if I can't articulate it correctly, then it could matter less.
What about, how about in your health journey? What's your one thing now? And in the past, what has been your one thing? Because I think this is really important because I, have you ever done Orange Theory Fitness? It's
No, but I had some of my clients that have.
it's a very interesting workout. I actually really like it. I didn't like it when I first did it a few years ago, but I actually really like it because they take just a little bit from each of these things that works. And my friend was asking me, like, how are you so good at this workout already? And I said, okay, think about what they do. They lift weights, they they do rowing, and they do running. That's really it.
Mhm.
They do the three things. And I say, at different points in my life, I have absolutely 100% focused on that. I was in high school, I ran track and cross country for 3 years, and that was my focus. That's all I was looking at. And then after like college and a little bit beyond, all I did was weightlifting. And so you have to see that I'm where somebody who's new to fitness, they come into that Orange Theory and they see three big things. I'm like, whoa, but I've been like a mini expert in each of those. So I really like your approach, how like I'm going to focus on this for 3 months. I'm going to become like a mini expert and then go from there. Sorry, that was a little ramble.
No, you're good.
I was asking you what's your focus now as far as your fitness, your health?
Yeah.
What has
So
been your focus in the past? How have you
it
developed to
was
this?
it was interesting because I live a holistic approach. And in a holistic approach, we're going to make mistakes along the way. And I think part of the biggest thing is having grace with yourself because I don't think enough people have grace. Life is a bunch of different things looking for your attention, looking for your awareness, looking for your essentially. And when we can step back and say, what do I want? Who do I want to be? And then really focus and say, is the person that I want to be doing the things that I should be doing right now? So, for instance, on my weight loss journey, it was nutrition. I had to really get on the nutrition plan. And what was interesting, I didn't know what I didn't know. Like, I had no idea how many crappy foods I was eating until I started reading the ingredients. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're marketing and branding to me all the time. Everything's amazingly healthy, and it's a lie. Like,
Right,
most of it's
right.
not. And so
Right.
I learned through that process. And then I ended up fighting in the UFC.
Nice.
And going through that process, it was like, okay, what would a UFC fighter be doing right now? And I just started asking those questions. And I just started doing what a UFC fighter. And the same thing was true when I made my transition from UFC into being an entrepreneur. It was, what would a high level entrepreneur do in this moment? What would they be doing? And I'm screwing that up, just like I've screwed everything else up. And it's okay.
Right.
There's an exercise that I do. It's called a third and a third.
Mhm.
And this is an exercise that you can do, and you you shouldn't be able to screw this up as long as you have the belief systems in place. Because the belief systems have to be in place. If you don't believe, then you're going to self-sabotage. That's another story altogether. But the third, a third, and a third is a third of the people you are surrounding yourself with have already gotten to the thing that you're looking to get to. They have already put it in place. They know what to do. And if you're looking to do something new or innovative, then go around that third who has done new, innovative stuff. So there's always room to get that person. Then a third of the people are where you're at, and they're looking to go to the exact same place. They're looking to create either something new and innovative, or they're looking to get their systems in place. Whatever it is, they're looking for the same thing you're looking for. And that's a piece of your tribe to keep you moving, to keep you engaged, and to keep you being as efficient and effective as possible. And again, it's a learning experience. It's, ooh, I screwed up here. I screwed up here. Ooh, I did this really well. Ooh, let me go tell my tribe what I did. And then the other third is you're actually helping them get to where you are. Because there
Mhm.
are people who are looking to just get to where you're at.
Yeah.
And that was tough for me because when I ended up bringing a marketer on, and I'm always so visionary, I'm always looking at the next thing. Like, ooh, I need to climb Mount Everest and do this. Like, Cliff, step back because you've already done some really cool things.
Yeah.
And if you're
Yeah.
always talking about the things you're looking to do, that audience can't resonate with that because you're always so far ahead of everybody else that they can't say, well, how can you help me? How can you help me? And ultimately, I had to step back and say, oh, okay, I help people with getting their discipline because there's a disciplined person in every single one of us.
Yeah.
There's a disciplined individual, and they just haven't heard the right story to move forward. And discipline doesn't have to suck either. We turn it into this drill sergeant who's yelling down our throat
Yeah,
and
waking
telling
up at
us,
4 in the
you
morning
need
to
to
do
do
your work.
this. Look, have fun in the process.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely have fun as you're disciplining yourself. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I like that third and third. I think that's it's lets you off the hook and saying, yeah, I don't have to be the expert at everything. And even the way you approached it, you said after you left UFC, which I imagine you achieved a high level of success, you're highly conditioned, you figured it out. And then you're going to this new world of entrepreneurship and you're like, okay, well, I was at this third. And now for this new category, I'm maybe down at this third. And I just need to look for people to help me learn. And you had grace with yourself. You didn't berate yourself for not knowing it all, because how could you, because you just started.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very balanced approach. And then of course at the other end, you're already very successful in a lot of ways, reaching down, helping somebody, pulling them up. So I think
Yeah.
that's a great exercise, just wrapping your mind around that third.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So let me see, what did I want to ask you? That third and third, I actually want to keep going down this road. I think it also occurs to me that we can be all three of those in relationship to other people too. So for example, like with me and you, if I wanted to learn how to fight, then I could go to you and you could help bring me up. And there may be something else, I don't know you that well, but there may be something that you want to learn from me. And that's where it's very cool having these conversations too, where it's like this very reciprocal win-win situation. I think everybody benefits, or at least that's the
Yeah.
goal, right? Yeah.
100%. When you can see everyone as equals, because I think that's such an important piece.
Yeah.
Because the second we don't respect someone, then we're cut off to their experiences, their reality, and everything that they've done. I look at everybody as an equal.
Yeah.
And the reason being is everyone has a reason for why they're doing what they're doing. And it might not be right, and they may even get the wrong result, but everyone's a mentor in what to do and what not to do. Like they're just like, okay, don't do that, don't do that, don't do, ooh, doing this really works and doing this
Right.
really works for such and such. And it's really just having that humility and the grace to follow your path, to say, what do I want? What result do I want? And am I following the right path to get it, to make it a reality?
Yeah. And you're saying right path based on what you believe, based on what you know to be true, or based on the results that you want to achieve, and not necessarily saying, Clifford, you know everything about UFC, I'm just going to do everything you say. But
Yeah.
each person needs to internalize what
Hmm.
they're learning to become like your own expert in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say, I call myself the curious expert because
Mm,
I'm an expert in my own skin, my own reality, my own perspective. I know my perspective, but I'm curious to life. I'm curious to
yeah.
everything life has to offer. And for instance, me and you are having a conversation, and I can only know as much as you allow me to know, and which questions I'm willing to ask or which answers I'm willing to give. But if I'm sitting there, oh, I know that,
Right.
and there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And they say in life and business, it's always going to change, but the one thing that never will is relationships, the most
100,
powerful thing that we have.
100%. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So when you work with clients, how do you take this broader philosophy and start to hone it down into helping somebody on, let's say like their first week working with you or their first month working with you? What does that typically look like?
Yeah, so it really starts with getting down what they do on paper. Like what, because we want something to measure. If
Yeah.
it's not measured, it's not managed. So if I wasn't measuring the calories I was eating, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Everything we get everything on paper. And I remind people that we're in a no judgment free zone.
Yes.
This is a zone of figuring out what it takes to move you forward. And some of the things we do in the beginning, we don't like. It is what it is. It's different. And when it's different, it, it's about reminding them of the result that they're looking to get to. So when I can remind them, this is why we're writing this all down. And then we just start saying, what do we add? What do we subtract? And again, it's got to be about them. I want to make sure they're living their greatest life. And to live their greatest life is really understanding, well, what does that look like to them? And when I understand that, then we can start getting to work on, all right, we got to delete. This isn't working for you. This isn't serving you. This isn't getting you to where you need to go. And then we can add different things too. Because it comes down to three things. And this is what this exercise is doing: knowledge, confidence, and money. So either we don't have enough knowledge in what it is we're looking to accomplish, we don't have enough confidence, we don't believe that we can do it, or we believe that we can do it, but we're a little bit too scared to take the action, or we don't have enough money. And those are all falsified beliefs because there's always a way to get knowledge, confidence, and money. You can always get those things. And so when we look at that sheet and go, okay, where is the disconnect? And then we find the disconnect, and then we connect it to this new reality, this new, oh, that's the action that I need to take. And all of a sudden the action becomes easy, and actions are actually secondary. So that's what people
Right.
can seem to miss, is they think like, I just got to do it. I just got to take the action. And when I take the action, you're like, nah, an action's a secondary piece. When
You
your
gotta get,
mind believes that it's possible,
yeah,
it
yeah.
will take the action.
I like that. So knowledge, confidence, and money. You're very similar to me. I like breaking things down in rules of three. Like, where do you live again?
Phoenix, Arizona,
Okay. Do you guys have In-N-Out burgers over there?
we do.
Okay.
So
Yeah. I've been saying
good.
this so good. I've been saying this for years. The In-N-Out burger menu. Do you want a cheeseburger, a hamburger, a double? That's it. Like, boom.
Yeah.
Those are your options. I find people work best like that, right? Break it down into three, because you've already said business, marketing, sales, and content.
Yeah.
Those are your three macro categories. Health, nutrition, exercise, recovery. And then the three that you just mentioned, knowledge, confidence, and money, that's more like mindsets, right? Mindset,
Mhm.
limiting beliefs. And then I like what you said. I want to reiterate this, where it seems like you sit down with them, you get their baseline, like where are we now? Because
Mhm.
either the client knows where they are, but you don't, and that's still a problem, or the client has no idea where they even are because they haven't taken an inventory. They may not have been like writing this stuff down and looking at it again, taking an assessment. And then just very simple, what do we need to add into this that's good, that's going to lead you to your goals? And then what do we need to subtract that
Mhm.
is maybe taking you in the wrong direction? That's it. I love
Yep.
it. This is it's funny, like I think, what was the term you use? Shiny object syndrome, right? At
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah.
I think people like us, and then I heard this other one, we try to boil the ocean, like we're trying to do everything, right? I think we need to do things like what you've done with this, where you simplify it down into its components, and then it's we've figured out the essential components of whatever we're looking at, and
Mhm.
then our minds can be free and, okay, we can think of this and get all these ideas,
Yeah.
versus like always being head in the clouds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to, is what I've loved about my journey is I do have this, oh my goodness, we can do a million and one different things. Like, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
And then I also have the side of, you were talking about the practical pieces. Okay, now it's time to get to work. And when you can have both of those running, it's like an engine where you're literally making your dreams a reality. That's the game that I like to play, is when dreams become reality. Because who wants to die with their dream? Who wants to die and say, man, I had such a vision? That sucks. That
Yeah.
doesn't sound
Yeah.
fun at all. And the reason I go into threes is it because my mind does do what it does. Like,
Yeah.
I can go into a million and one different ways. So I'm going in all of these ways, and it doesn't allow me to move, and it doesn't allow my tribe to move correctly because it's too much stuff. It needs to simplify things.
100%. Too much stuff. Need to simplify, need to bring it down to earth. Yeah. And absolutely, that's what visionaries do. That's the difference between being a visionary and being a dreamer. The dreamer just thinks about cool stuff, but it doesn't actually happen. You're like taking it and you're bringing it down. You're distilling the essence of it. You're figuring out categorization. You're trying to, okay, how do we move this ahead and all that. That's great. Clifford, I want to give you a chance to tell people how they can get in touch with you. If they want to work with you, website, social media, how do they get in
Yeah,
touch with you?
absolutely. So you can go to my LinkedIn page under Clifford Starks. You can also go to my Facebook group or my Facebook page. My Facebook group is Mind Body Business Mastery. Yeah, just reach out. Let's have a connection. Let's talk and see if we're a good fit for each other.
Sounds good. Mind, body, business mastery. I like that.
Thank you.
Awesome. This is Health in the Real World. I'm Chris Janke. I'm joined today with Clifford Starks. Clifford, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate the audience that listen.
Thanks for listening to the Health in the Real World show. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Visit mycorebalance.com to learn more.